So, as much as any of us who are older than a certain age want to complain about this or that, or the state of movies or TV or physical media or whatever, we live in a golden age. We live in a couple of golden ages right now. We live in the golden age of cool t-shirts because you can go online and find whatever you like, however specific it is. If it's pop culture related, there are 5 great t-shirts about it right now. We live in a golden age to a degree of TV the last decade or two, in that there's so much good content out there. And we live in a golden age of old TV movies coming out on home video. Perhaps the most important golden age of all. We live in a time where companies like well, let's say in this case, Arrow Home Video, are taking old TV movies that you never thought you'd see again, or maybe have only ever read about, or never even heard about, and they're giving them fantastic Blu-ray releases. This is just insane to me in the best way. We're talking today about The Initiation of Sarah from 1978. This was a Carrie-inspired TV movie starring Lenz as a mousy girl with something extra, who, when pushed too far, unleashes revenge with her telekinetic powers upon those who torment her. So many TV movies, so many TV shows over the years are just ripoffs of more popular, well-known movies of the day. And that's fine, because we get a lot of fun stuff that way. So if you counted the number of movies and TV movies that took the Jaws screenplay format, something bad is happening. Somebody wants to warn everybody. We can't do anything about that because there's this big money-making thing. You'll regret this. They do. There's a lot of that. So, Initiation of Sarah from 1978, directed by Robert Day, with Kay Lenz, Morgan Fairchild, Morgan Brittany, and Robert Hayes, who would go on to be in on Angie, a show I like very much, about I think the year or so after this, and be in Airplane and other things, the Starman TV show. And so Kay Lenz is a mousy girl. She goes off to college. She and her sister, Morgan Brittany, go off to college, and they wind up going into 2 different sororities. Morgan Brittany is gladly accepted into the hoity-toity snooty girl sorority, but Kay Lenz, she's not good enough to be in there, so she goes off to PED, which the snooty girls refer to as pigs, elephants, and dogs. And bullying ensues, and Morgan Brittany is basically told, you can't associate with your sister, you can't talk to her, she's lower class, she's with this other sorority, you can't do that. The wedge is driven. Morgan Fairchild, she drives the wedge. The locomotive wedge. And Kay Lenz, she can only take so much before she uses that telekinesis to make Morgan Fairchild fall in a fountain, or a pool, or body of water, or something like that. And it escalates, like Carrie does. At first it's, some little thing, and then eventually there's a locked gymnasium on fire with people dying in it during the prom. I don't remember, honestly, it's a little while since I watched this. I don't remember how it ends, so I can't give away what the big ending is, but it's fun. It's 70s TV movie fun, so it feels like a 70s TV movie, but unlike the way it looked on TV then, this looks phenomenal. Like, it looks like a movie. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous color. It's razor sharp. Arrow knows what they're doing with transfers. I shouldn't have to say it, but I do in case you don't know. And the idea that I could be watching a Blu-ray copy with voluminous extras of a 70s TV movie that maybe only ever aired once, maybe twice on the network, maybe fell into syndication TV broadcasts after that for a few years. But then most of these things never had a videotape release. Most of them never had a legitimate DVD release. So now that we're seeing these things get released on the regular, for people like me who, that's like an untapped treasure trove of horror content, if you're a horror fan, or just of content in general. Well-known directors and writers and actors made TV movies for a couple decades that were really good. 70s and the 80s to me are the golden age of the TV movie, before they all became about, a mother's struggle, the blah, blah, blah story, or disease of the week, or whatever, or just about crime stuff. A lot of really, really good TV movies got made, some of which got theatrical releases overseas. So I'm going to kind of read from my notes on the extras for this. You get a commentary by Amanda Reyes, who knows what she's talking about. You get Stacey Ponder and critic Stacey Ponder and queer horror programmer Anthony Hudson do an appreciation of the film through a queer feminist lens, and that's about 16 minutes long. Personally, I thought it was pretty annoying, and I had to shut that off. I didn't like the kind of mocking tone of the whole thing. Not that Initiation of Sarah is this brilliant, untouchable masterpiece, but I like this stuff. Like, I don't, you know. Alexandra Heller-Nicholas does a look at how second wave feminism impacted the film. That's also about 16 minutes, 15 minutes long. Personally, I thought it was a little bit of a stretch to say that that's what really influenced the movie. I think it can be read that way, as we say in film theory circles, or we used to say in film theory class. You can read a movie and you can apply various theories and ideologies to it, but I'm not always sure that that's what was going on in the filmmakers' minds. You have Samantha McLaren looking at the post-Carrie tales of witchcraft, empowerment, telekinesis, and TV movies. That's 16 minutes. That's a good thing about Arrow, too. You can almost guarantee any extras about a quarter of an hour. So if you like this stuff, it's a lot of bang for your buck. Tom Holland, who did a lot of 80s stuff. I believe he did Child's Play and a bunch of well-known 80s horror. He wrote this. So he talks about writing of the movie and his experience with that. And then you get an image gallery with... is a little weird because it looks like a handful of frames. My notes say handful of freeze frames from a VHS copy of the film, plus the original TV guide ad, which is always cool. I love the old TV guide ads. So this was a really cool package. I think if you like knockoff horror movies, if you find it amusing to watch, Kathy's Curse after you watch The Exorcist, or The Initiation of Sarah after you watch Carrie, there's that. But also it's this, again, vast, barely tapped treasure trove of 70s TV movies that have mostly been forgotten and are inaccessible in the last ensuing decades. Thank you, Arrow Video, for putting this out in a keeper definitive collection.